Hello everyone, and in this video we're going to be doing some hands-on practice using Kali Linux on a virtual machine software called VMware Workstation. And today's main topic is about malware analysis. But before I dive more into that, it is important to note that what I'm doing in this video is only for educational purposes, and the file in which I'll be using is publicly available and it is legal to use. Now, whenever you're trying to set your virtual machine on VMware Workstation, head over to VM and then head over to your settings. And you want to make sure that whatever shared folders is disabled in order to not risk your computer and your data. That is your physical computer. And the file that we're actually going to be trying our malware analysis on is called ACAR. Now, ACAR is designed for testing antivirus softwares. So it is designed to test antivirus software without having to use a real computer virus, which is really good for, learning and exploring how malware analysts, analyze files and stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this command in order to download the file, but you can also download it from their official main website. So I'm just gonna copy this. All right, then paste it here. Okay, it's not pasting for some reason. Let me copy, then paste. All right, so it's gonna take, like probably took 1 second. So after the file has been downloaded, right, now you wanna, do your malware analysis on it. So what you want to do, there are a couple commands that I'm gonna be using in this video. Some are gonna show like static stuff, and one's gonna be dynamic. So some static commands include file, then you type in the file name, which in this case it is acar.com or acar. But yeah, you type in the file name, and I think I've got to do something. Do this. So if I type in file, and then I type in acar.com, I can see that acar.com has acar virus test files, meaning it's used for testing purposes, right? Now, another command we're going to try is strings. Now, strings is used to show readable text in a file. So if I go ahead and type in acar.com, I can see that there is this comment which says ACAR standard antivirus test file, right? And you can see like X50 and some other scribbles. And now another command that you might wanna use is xxd acar.com. Then you do this and then head. Now this command is gonna show the first sorry, the first few bytes in hexadecimal format. So as you can see the first few bytes in hexadecimal format, which is really important, really good for malware analysts to know that. And another way to, and another command, sorry, that you can check out, let's say if you want to check out the hash type of a file, right? So you go ahead and say hash 256 sum, and then type in the file name. And now you can get the hash value. You now know basically what the hash for the file is, right? Now you might be wondering, is that all? Are these all commands for malware analysis, yes, but there are obviously more. I'm gonna be now showing some dynamic malware analysis. So let's say I wanna try and see the system trace of the file, right? So acar.com. Now it says permission denied, but if we clear this and say, oh, sorry, we say sudo trace acar.com, then you type in your password. Uh, oh, I misspelled it, my bad. So sudo trace dot slash acar dot com. All right, it's not working for some reason. Uh, if I go to home, if I go to properties and look at permissions, I can see it's only read and write, and it's not an executable. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change its permissions. I'm gonna modify its permissions to make it executable. So a car, right? So now if I sudo strace uh, strace, all right. So shows an execution format error. So let's try opening the file and see why this is happening. All right. Interesting. All right. So this file is not running because it's not an executable file. What it means by that is this. Now, if I go to my documents and I go here, you see a testing file, right? And now this testing file has a .sh, meaning it's a shell script. Now, if I wanna strace, let's say this shell script, right? Use the strace command, strace, um, oh, I first have to go to the directory it's in, and then sudo strace testing. Wait. Oh, yeah, I misspelled it. Um, sudo strace testing.sh shell script. Right, so now you get a whole lot of information. Now, from my limited knowledge, is strace or system, it basically tracks what the operating system is doing on a kernel level. So, for example, the openat, the one you see here, is basically opening files. So you see the operating system is, caching the file and stuff. And you also see like other functions such as mmap, fstat, and reading the file and stuff. That's what the operating system is doing. Now, this is really information for really useful information for malware analysts to, try and find traces of malware in the system. But usually, it's hard to find like any malware traces when using strace from what I know personally. Now, there is although another command that you can do, which is let's say sudo ltrace and then testing.sh. Okay, now this you can see it gave um, a whole bunch of outputs, way more than the system trace, because when you run ltrace, it's running library function calls. So library functions such as libc. So if I go back to my here document, let's make a new one. So libc is basically the library of C, which contains functions such as printf and stuff, like common functionalities of C, the C library. And now, um, not only that, it also contains the malloc library functions and everything that's related to, like, um, C programming languages. And now, if you want to also test this out on your Kali virtual machine or using VMware Workstation, um, what I did is I just created a document. So let me make another document, create document, empty file, say testing 2.0. Huh, 1 second. I forgot the .sh, right? Now, if I go in the document, now in order to make this file an executable file, you have to put the I guess you can call it the command line, or like the text line bin bash, in order to run um your whatever command you're running. So I'm just gonna do the classic hello world, and you can also like do, let's say, printf, um let's say, um hey, this is a testing file, or whatever, right? And then maybe here just like scribble whatever, right? Right. Now I'm gonna save this, right? Now this has only read and write permissions, right? So whenever you wanna um uh make or run your your file, right? You have to give it the executable permission in order for it to run. So I'm gonna give my file the executable permission to run. And after doing that, after changing its permission, so it can read, write, and run and execute, we do the, let's say, sudo trace dash slash testing 2.0.sh. Interesting. Let me go again. Did I put it in the wrong? No, it's here. Testing. Did I misspell anything? No, I did not, in fact, misspell anything. Okay, this is interesting. Mm, okay, what if hmm, what if I did this? I mean, I'll trace. So if I do this, does it run? Does the original testing one run? Yes, it does. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Now if I, okay, I think I know why, because yeah, because I should have, I missed the slash here, so that's why it did not run. So now if I go back here and then let's clear this, then let's say ltrace dot slash testing 2.0 dot shell script. Now you can see it ran, and it gave us, I think, way a lot more than the previous shell script, because I added one more line, which is the printf line, which we can see here. Um, printf, hey, this is a testing file, you can see. So now, how is this useful for malware analysts? So instead of them, like whenever, let's say, there is a malware in a system, usually in library function calls, it is easier to detect malware, um, like malware prints, because in system calls, the malware is usually more hidden than in the library function calls, as the like whoever the person that wrote the malware, or like the adversary, they could have, let's say, printed something called, hey, this is the password, and then had the password in characters, right? So then now the malware analyst is like now aware of, okay, so this is malware, and this should be taken upon and action should happen, right? So yeah, this is basically how malware analysts analyze malware. However, there's also a lot more commands and tools. I just briefly explained some simple stuff. So now if we wanna retrack and go back over what we did today, is doing the file command, which basically shows the file type. So here you find the file type. It's a shell script and it has ASCII text. And then if you write strings, testing 2.0.sh, it shows you all the text, the readable text inside the file. And then if you want to find out the first few bytes in hexadecimal format, you type in texting.sh, then head. And then you find the hexadecimal format for each and every line in the file, in the shell script file. And you want to find the, you know, hash type or hash whatever. You type in SHA-256 sum, then the file name, then you find out the hash, right? And one more thing, another command that's useful not only for malware analysts, but if you want to like see your running processes, you just type in top in Kali, and you can see whatever process you have running, you can see I have the root users running. You can see how much CPU usage it's using. You can also see how much memory it's using and the time and command for each and every single process. And you can see how many sleeping, stopped, and the total amount. And that's it for this video. And if you have enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, share, and comment down below what more you would like to see. Or if I've missed anything, or if I've said anything wrong, then you can just let me know. And thank you.